What is bad leadership? Leaders are different from one another. While some leaders lead well and deliver the best result, others may have certain qualities that make them more ineffective than others. Lack of presence, lack of direction, and micromanagement are examples of these traits. In most cases, these issues stem from a lack of communication between leaders and employees, as well as a lack of resources and tools needed to lead an organization. The concept of bad leadership is when the leader does not motivate or drive the work group, harms it morally, sets goals that benefit only himself, demotivates, and affect its performance. The anatomy of a bad leader. The question is, how do people define a bad leader? Among workers who complain about poor leadership in a survey, at least about 32% says that their boss lack vision or direction. About 33% believe that weak leadership at work is one of the most stressful aspects of their job, and about 31% says that their supervisor controls them, manipulates them, or get defensive. Additionally, about one quarter of respondents to this survey believe that their boss' poor leadership limits their career progress. There are 17% of employees who would prefer a new boss to a raise, and about 62% said they wouldn't follow their boss if their paycheck didn't depend on it. Why improving bad leadership is important. Success of a company is largely determined by its leadership. Having poor leadership can negatively affect employee morale and even the bottom line of the company. As a result of bad leadership, businesses often experience unhealthy attitude, segregation, staff turnover, and unattractive working environment that make staff less likely to perform at their best. As a result, we need to identify signs of bad leadership and try to improve it. Signs of bad leadership. We can see the signs of bad leadership in a company when there is no team chemistry, when there is no communication between the staff or between the staff and the leader, when there is high employee turnover in the company, when the leader tends to micromanage, or when the leader has no clear expectations for their employee, which can make them confused, and at the end, when the leader has favorites, or when leader is a bully.
Hi, my name is Raj Kumar Patel. I would like to describe about a bad leadership quality. The first of all, a lack of presence. This one is simple, yet it is remarkable how many leaders ignore it. If you demand that your team and employees put in 60 hours a week of work but do not put in the same dedication, the tension will inevitably grow. While taking frequent long weekends and break is okay, it should be obvious to your staff that you are putting it just as much effort as they are giving. The second one is lack of direction. It is exceptionally frightening. Workers lose confidence in leaders when they do not get a handle on the overall course a firm is taking. Individuals will question the organizational general mission and inspiration of the workers. The third one is lack of transparency. Humans have an extraordinarily keen sense of lying. If executives are withholding facts or even worse, telling lies, employee will find out. It will also undermine faith. Without trust in their leaders, followers quickly lose their interest and regards. The fourth one is lack of authority. Bossy chiefs are easy to perceive and immediately become a heinous. The pioneers who need authority is much of time less noticeable. The fifth The fifth one is lack of listening skills. The fact that you will not be treated like just another employee as a leader must be accepted. People will not be as eager to express their genuine ideas, feedbacks, and opposition to your effort because you are one of the most senior employee in your organization, or if not, the most senior employee. The sixth one is lack of faith. Nobody likes to be micromanaged, but it is even worse if boss has no faith in the knowledge and judgment of their team members. It utterly undermines confidence and prevent the person's professional development. You cannot be experts in every aspect of your business as a leader. Simply put, you do not have the time. Even if you did, you are a lone individual, and a lack of diversity of viewpoint required to advance a company holistically. For this reason, you employ experts in several sectors. They aid the success of your entire business with their special knowledge.
This is Fanny. In coming slides, I will be talking about types of bad leadership. The first one is incompetent leadership. The leaders and at least some followers lack the will or skill to sustain effective actions. Mostly, arrogance or prideful overconfidence, belief that they are always right, lack of trust, and the unhappy zone is a central character trait of incompetent leaders. The second one is rigid leadership. The leaders and at least some followers are stiff and unyielding. Rigid leaders move from showing judgment to becoming judgmental. And also, rigid leaders are weak leaders. But teams never respond to judgmental behavior too. The third one is intemperament leadership. The leaders lack self control and is aided and abetted by followers who are unwilling or unable to intervene. One is callous leadership. The leaders and at least some followers are uncaring or unkind. Ignored or discounted are the needs, wants, and wishes of most members of the group and organization. They are rash and harsh, cruel, and cold hearted. The next one is corrupt leadership. The leader and at least some followers lie, cheat, or steal. Mostly corrupt politicians take bribes and deny it. When you corrupt someone, you convince them to do something wrong or even illegal. The next one is insular leadership. The leaders and at least some followers minimize or disregard the health welfare of the other, such as those outside the group or organization for which they are directly responsible. The fourth one is evil leadership. In evil leadership is leadership that cause the harsh and ultimately destruction of human being. Mostly the harm can be physical or psychological or maybe both. Why have we ignored bad leadership? Maybe it can lead to negative organization and employed outcomes like including workplace division, lower job satisfaction, lower employee self-esteem, negative organization attitude, and psychological stress. Also, it is associated with negative and potentially costly. Here we are talking about impact of bad leadership. There are some factors which is impacted by our behavior and voice of tone like fun, fellowship, feeling, satisfaction, citizenship behavior, and retention. Also, the bad leadership can have a negative impact on employee and might even damage the company's bottom line. However, a good leader can increase a business sales, boost employee, and make staff want to stay at an organization. These are six consequences of bad leadership: moral, mission, performance, loyalty, ethics, and reputation. Hello, this is Shravya, and we'll be discussing about can poor leaders become good leaders? Well, the answer is it depends. These are the 9 proven steps for anyone to become better leaders. Number 1, improving communication effectiveness. Communication skills are highly malleable.
For many leaders, improvement is less about learning new skills and more about using the skills they already had. Number 2, share the knowledge and expertise more widely. Poor leaders tend to be stingy with information and know how. By sharing their knowledge more frequently and teaching people what they know, can simultaneously impress and develop their direct reports. Number 3, encourage others to do more and to be better. Some leaders believe that if they minimize challenges to their team and expect less of their people, subordinates will see them as better leaders. This is wrong. When leaders challenge their direct reports to do more and be better, they thought they could be, the leaders are actually perceived to be better themselves. Number 4, developing a broader perspective. It's easy for leaders to become preoccupied with work demands and internal politics and become oblivious to what's happening in the outside world. Getting leaders to stop and look at the bigger picture can help them see potential problems sooner and focus more on strategic and less on tactical issues. Number 5, recognize that they are role models and need to set a good example. It frequently happens that leaders unintentionally ask others to do things that they don't do themselves. This never works and they sometimes come as hypocritical. Number 6, begin to champion their team's new ideas. When we shift from discouraging new proposals to encouraging and supporting innovative ideas and thinking, positive changes can occur. Number 7, learn to recognize when change was needed. Successful leaders are those who learn to willingly support and embrace change and encourage others to do so as well. How? Essentially, by becoming more proactive. This is by doing a better job of spotting new trends, opportunities, and potential problems early. Number 8, improve the ability to inspire and motivate others. When a leader is the last to know that employees having difficulties, others interpret that as a lack of concern. Providing support and assistance to an employee in difficult circumstances not only helps the employee but also reassures others they can expect to receive the same treatment. Number 9, begin to encourage cooperation rather than competition. Many leaders come out of school believing that work is zero sum game that creates winners and losers. And so they compete in an effort to get ahead. Battles are costly and consume a great deal of resources. In the long run, internal competition can cause every participant to lose. When leaders look for ways to encourage cooperation and generate common goals, they become more successful.
Hi, this is Samuel. In the coming slides, I will show you some examples of bad leaders. Bad leaders prefer micromanagement. They do not know when to delegate. They can't see potential in people. They only find fault with others. They are very negative and always blame team members. They seldom encourage others and do not care about people's growth. Apart from this, people with bad leadership do not put people in best positions and make them perform well. Instead, they tend to exploit people to make themselves benefit the most. They do not believe in open communication and value transparency. They changes and wouldn't take any risks. Also, they think every member can be replaced. These all are the examples of bad leaders. To conclude, being a leader isn't easy. It requires a unique and well-rounded skill set that is hard to come by. However, while there are natural leaders, leadership skill can be developed. Hopefully, this presentation has helped you reflect on your own actions as a leader and how you can challenge yourself to be a better leaders. Thank you.